Welcome to Successfully Ambiguous, the podcast that guides professionals through the changing world of work. I'm Christine Brooks-Cappadocia, Assistant Vice President of Continuing Studies at York University. I'm on a mission to help professionals and employers upskill and thrive in a changing world of work. In this show, we meet leaders who've turned ambiguity into opportunity so you can find your own way and your own path to your success. Welcome to Successfully Ambiguous. Today we're going to meet Maham Abbasi, entrepreneur, women's advocate, founder of the No Shame Project, and change maker. So join me as we open the door and meet Maham. Welcome, Maham, to Successfully Ambiguous. I understand you're joining us from Lahore today.
Thank you so much for having me, Christine. It's a pleasure to be here and connecting with you. So I'm based out of Lucknow in India right now. That's where my parents are from. And I was born and raised in Delhi, so I've lived most of my life in the capital city of the country.
Fantastic. And I first encountered you when you were a student here at York University. And one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show today is because your business is to help students become international students, reach their goal at universities throughout the world. What inspired you to form a business? There must have been a need you were trying to fill.
It's an absolute pleasure to be mentoring students and professionals as well. So I also have a job where I connect with professionals and I guide them to upskill. That's so important in today's time. And the entire idea came when I started working with a company in India. It's doing great for helping students study abroad. It's called UpGrad. So I joined as one of their senior academic counselors, and I noticed that there is definitely a lot of gap. I worked with them for almost a year, and I felt that there's a need for students to have honest guidance, honest advice, and I really feel that students deserve a lot of honesty when you talk to them. Not just what's happening around in the world, or what are the professions people are following, or what can get them the best income, but for me it's really about being really true to your passion, true to what you enjoy doing. And the more than a gap, I personally have experienced a lot of such situations when I have done something that I did not enjoy doing, like that I did not like doing. And that particularly happened because my parents were suggesting it, or my relatives were suggesting it, or, discussions with siblings. But after some point of time, you will not enjoy that if you don't have passion for it. So the reason I started Vidya Say is a Hindi term, and I really wanted to use it because I wanted to connect with so many learners in my country. It basically means through education, and with education, I come with a lot of support in understanding their passions, in who they really are, in what they will eventually enjoy doing. So I think it's all a mix of my own learning experience as well. And I personally want to help students navigate this maze of craziness of getting a top global admit.
So tell me about that. When I first started my career, I went into something that I studied something my parents weren't necessarily thrilled with. I remember first 10 years of my career, my dad thought I was a volunteer. I was an artist and working in not-for-profit organizations, and he just could not conceive that I got paid for my work because it wasn't work in his mind. Tell me about your journey in taking a step into a career that may not be one that was your community imagined for you.
Well, I had a very similar profile like yours. Since I believe I was in standard sixth or seventh, I started working with big NGOs in the country. There's an NGO named as Need. There's a global organization called ISEC. So I joined hands with all these organizations, and I used to go and teach in marginalized areas of the country. So I used to teach children. A lot of population is living below poverty line in India. They don't have the means to good education. They don't have the means to even have 2 meals a day. So I joined hand with these organizations and started working with them. So in a lot of ways, we had a very similar start. But thanks to my wonderful parents, they always supported me, they always encouraged me. And even, I mean, if you look at my family also, even my great grandparents were into volunteering and working with the society and helping the community. So I started off with that. And that's where I realized that, wow, I love teaching, I love connecting with students. And I went on to join a newspaper in the country. I started writing for them. That's when I saw that I like to do content. So in a lot of ways, I wear different hats, and I've been, teaching, mentoring, writing, doing a lot of things. But what problem I faced, I would say, was not my decisions of picking what I wanted to do. It was always about, what I'm passionate about. Non-linear paths becoming the norm, and even before they became the norm, I was living it. And I am so thankful and I'm so grateful that even though my entire journey might look messy on my CV or the papers, I get a lot of questions when I go for interviews, but each turn and each of these experiences have given me tools that I could not have learned any other way.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And I can see it coming together as we've interacted online and in many of your posts. You are bringing those various skill sets together. One of the things I think is so fascinating about your work is in Canadian students don't study abroad at the same rate as students from almost any other country on earth, right? We have about 11% of Canadian secondary students will actually have a study abroad period. And yet you are promoting and helping students from all around the world study in all other areas of the world. Tell me what Canadian students are missing out on.
Okay.
Help Canadian students embrace what you get from international education.
Well, I personally really believe so. York has played a very big role in my entire story, and I did get the opportunity to interact, to live in Canada, and even I completely agree with you. I think the important part is to stay curious, stay very intentional, be very adaptive, very receiving, very open to new things. I think definitely growth happens out of comfort zones. And why so many students from my country, India, and from other countries as well are really growing in their career is because they are being open to these opportunities of getting out of their comfort zones, embracing connecting with more people, being more confident in being part of communications. It's very important. I personally feel that this idea of doing one thing and to continue doing that one thing for as long as you can, and becoming too comfortable in that is good at some point of time, definitely, but not in the longer run. I think you need to go out. You need to struggle a little. You need to mix with people of different cultures, different diverse cultures, different areas, countries. It has helped me grow as a person for sure. I believe I was in class ninth when I told my father that, you know what, I don't want to live around you all the time. It's too comfortable. It's too sweet. And I really want to go to a boarding school. And he was like, what? He was like, you're the first person who's telling their parents that they want to go to a boarding school. I said, of course. And I was a very shy person. I was never into communications. I was never into, talking the way I talk now confidently. I love connecting with people. It's an absolute pleasure. I got all those things inculcated in me when I went to that boarding school. So I think that was a great decision where I was living with people from Assam, from different states of the country, even from people from Thailand. I went to a boarding school in a beautiful hill station in India, and there were a lot of mix of people. I learned to get out of my comfort zone, not depend upon my parents and my family, and really live for my own self. So this is one of the reasons. And in India, family is a big thing. Like you, students are always, with their parents. There's a big community. There are amazing events happening. but they are making these conscious decisions of stepping out of the comfort zone. So stepping out of the comfort zone is very important.
Yeah, and that's where you learn and grow. And I love that you're a great example that sometimes in Canada most recently we've developed this thought pattern that international education is about immigration, and it's not. It's about growing and learning experiences, and that study abroad period that many people have with the intent of coming home and being a little closer to family, which is a lot easier than being on the other side of the world from your family.
Absolutely.
There's growth there. You have been a strong advocate and for women's issues, and working on the No Shame Poverty Project. Tell me a little bit about what inspires that work. It's poverty isn't something that's necessarily a North American experience. It's not something that we necessarily think of. It probably is a North American experience, just probably not one that many people are aware of.
Right.
And you've worked to support local artisans. Tell me what's inspiring that work.
So the project is called the No Shame Project, and it started when I did my master's in women's studies, and the department was actually started by my grandmother at one of the universities. It's called Aligarh Muslim University. It's been one of my favorite places to be, and that department was started by my grandmother. And I was like, "What? There is a subject called as women's studies, which is even more niche than the subject that we know as gender studies, and you're really learning about women related issues." And I was like, wow. So I dropped all my plans. I was always into learning literature, language. I did my bachelor's in English and French from the Delhi University, and then I wanted to eventually do a master's in English, and the linear path, maybe do a research in English and maybe teach English. But then when I got to know about this subject, that this subject exists, I dropped everything. I think this is where, when I counsel students at Vidya, it's all my experience. I picked up a subject that I was so passionate about, and it has helped me so much in bringing about positive change in my community, and it means a lot to me. So we work to end period poverty in India. It's a big issue. 75% of women do not use hygienic products, sanitary products, 75%. And this is below poverty line. This is marginalized section of society. And the decent section of society is also not, like, about 50% of the better standard community is also affected by period poverty. So why is nobody talking about it? Like, that's where it came from. I was like, so I was in a hostel when I was doing women's studies. Of course, I was learning about all these feminist movements. I was learning about everything Judith Butler wrote, these amazing writers. And the core of everything was women standing up for women.
Love that.
That is exactly what this is all about. If you look at the history, Christine, where do you see a lot of women influenced chapters? I don't see it anywhere in my state boards of the country. I don't see it at all, to be honest. Not even like 5%. But when I was studying those subjects, I was just studying about women's struggles across the globe, not just our country. And I thought that the whole idea of studying this is then to be able to support a woman. So there was this girl who came to my room one day. I was in hostel. She said, "You know what? I don't have a sanitary napkin. Can I get one from you?" I was a little taken aback, because if girls who are affording good education in such a good university and living in such good standards are not having it because they find it so difficult. By the way, the tax and everything is mad on the sanitary napkins in our country. It's too much.
Oh.
So I was a little taken aback, and I immediately started this project. I just checked with my professor. They said, "Wow, we love the idea. We'll support you." We went to all these marginalized sections. I've helped countless women through this project. Do you know that there are millions of girls dropping out of school because of periods?
No.
Millions? Wow. Yes. Christine, the data is insane. And not just in India. Check out Africa. Check out regions of North America. It's pretty bad. It's just that it's a taboo. It's a stigma. Big stigma in my country. We don't talk about it. very educated women are not supposed to carry sanitary napkins in open. The shopkeepers will still pack it in those black papers so nobody sees it. So it's a very big taboo, very big stigma. And with my team, we want to break this because it's
Right.
so normal. It's so
Well, and
normal.
you can't lift women out of poverty if you can't access education because you're home because you're having your period, and you certainly can't work if you're staying home whenever you're having your period. It's a really worthy cause, and I commend you for it, and I commend you for the awareness you're bringing to it. In
Thank
the
you.
spirit of helping other women, in helping our society in general, what do you wish the international students and the mid-career professionals that are coming to you for advice on how to frame and reposition and upskill, what do you wish they knew? If you could give them, what are the common pieces of advice that you're giving people that you just really want everybody to know?
I would say I want everybody to know that detours are not delays. I think in today's time, people feel that they are at a certain phase in their life. They have been doing a certain job for almost half a decade, or students have been following this one particular subject because they were told by some relative in their class 10 that, you know what, you should become a doctor. And now they are just so stuck, so scared of the idea of shifting to something that they are passionate about. See, we all are growing, right? What I was thinking 4 years ago, I don't think the same thing today. I
Right.
have my perspective has shifted. I've educated myself. I've gone out to different countries. I've traveled through UAE, Canada, different places. Even people who do not have these opportunities. I mean, I got lucky thanks to God and my parents and my supportive family. But even if you're not leaving your confines of your home, still you are evolving as a person. So it's very wrong to think that if you now chase your passion, let's say you're a doctor and you want to become a musician now, and there is great money in music, by the way, nowadays, especially in India, artists are earning so much. I think you should just pick up your bags and do.
Look, you have a growth mindset and an ability to accept new things and encourage others to accept new things, which is absolutely fantastic.
I do that all the time. I make sure that all my counseling sessions are more with the parents than the students. I tell the parents all the time, please let your child follow their passion. Please let them be who they want to be. Because once you are aligned with your own soul, with your own passion, once you are in complete alignment of what you like to do, you can never not succeed. You will succeed.
One last question for you. As a parent, I understand the impetus to kind of protect your children and not let them, which leads to not letting them grow as much as they should, because you want to protect them. Are there experiences you believe students who are pursuing a study abroad should be prepared for that are not necessarily what they have in mind when they think about going ahead? And we've had quite a bit of criticism in Canada over the last little bit about how the growth of international students in the pandemic actually impacted the student experience. How can we? I know we share a passion to make sure students enter their journey with their eyes wide open. What would you warn students and parents to be cautious of and prepare for?
I would say, like how I mentioned, sometimes the best outcomes happen out of your comfort zone. Sometimes when you're willing to pivot, you discover the side of yourself that you never would have otherwise. So, my advice to parents, my advice to even professionals who are living in this community of so many immigrants and students is to support each other. I feel it's become so difficult in today's time, and I don't understand why, where people are they're taking a backseat in completely supporting each other. Not York for sure. York is a great community. I absolutely loved the fact that at York University, all my professors were so supportive. They knew each and every student's learning journey, what they have been doing. So my all my professors know the No Shame Project. They took out the time in those lectures to know me, to connect with me. So just by telling someone that you are with them, you're standing right behind them to support them, even if you don't know them, is so important. So I'm just going to say that when you're willing to give that confidence and also be very receiving of connecting with other individuals, there is an immense power in that. Of course, fear of unknown is something that everybody has. I send my children to a country, I'll also be scared, even though I've been doing this for all my life. Telling students, hey, it's going to be a great experience, make the most of it. But obviously, tomorrow when I become a parent, I will be scared that my child is going to a new country. What's going to happen? So I think the best thing is trusting the positive, good energies around you, people around you, and people should also just come out and, hold each other, I feel. In every country, in every community, in every office, school, institution, classroom. I did notice sometimes in Canada that students were always in this race of getting new work, or they were just too involved in their own lives. But I think we are all social people. We should, when we stay connected with each other, support each other, work for each other, in rooting for each other, it's just all going to come into place, and that's always helped me.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate you taking time to talk to us, and I think your advice will help a lot of people. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you
us
so
on
much.
Successfully Ambiguous.
Thank you, Christine. What a pleasure to connect with you.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Successfully Ambiguous. Be sure and subscribe to us on YouTube and listen to us on Apple and Spotify. If you've got career questions, be sure to email me at successfullyambiguous@yorku.ca. Don't forget, when opportunity knocks, be ready to answer.